Hi Eddie. This is a video introducing you to the idea of a light on a form. So it's going to be called the anatomy of light or anatomy of a shadow. So first we want to start off with a form, which is we're going to draw a ball. So to draw a ball, you start off with a circle, just like you've been drawing in your first assignment. And we're also going to pick a direction of light. So in the corner here, I'm drawing the source of light, which is this little sun, and he's very happy. And so the light's going to travel straight out of the sun, straight, straight, straight. Light travels in straight lines. And draw this little arrow here just to show you that, to emphasize the straightness of light. So light comes out of the light source and hits the ball all around the outsides. And when it hits the extreme outside edge, like here, it can't go, it just goes past and hits the table that it's on, and it goes to the other side where that pencil is now, and goes past the ball and hits the table. So I'm going to draw a little table edge. Here's the edge of the table, and here's the back wall line. So light shoots past the ball and hits the table, and hits all the outside of the ball here, 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 and it it lights up the right side of the ball and hits the ball there, 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 and there, all around, except for because the ball is round, because the ball has a shape, it doesn't go past that line there. So I'm going to draw a oval that represents the edge of where the light ends. Draw my oval. So as light hits the right side of the ball, the left side of the ball doesn't receive any direct light. So I'm going to tone the ball sort of evenly, and try not to make too many lines, try not to create any marks other than sort of a cloudy shape, a cloudy mass, right? So I'm staying within the lines and making sure that it's as even as I can get it. And this is the most important thing to do, to separate it in this binary sense of a light side and a shadow side. Now, the light doesn't just hit the ball and that's the end of it. It hits the ball and shoots past the ball. It hits the table, except where the places where the ball is blocking the light. So I draw a little oval shape on the table that represents the area of the table that the ball is blocking. And then I tone that area in, just like I toned it on the ball. So there's the ball, and my ball, and the shape of the shadow. There's a shadow on the ball. There's a shadow on the table. Is one. You just think of that as one cohesive thing. Shadow. So let's name the parts. The ball is the form. We could be talking about any kind of form, a human body, or a dog, or a bicycle. In this case, it's the ball. And so the ball is the form, and the shadow is the whole area of the shadow on the ball and the shadow on the table. So think of the shadow as its own object. And if we take to separate the shadows now, if we take away the shadow of the form, the shadow on the form, we call that the form shadow. And if we talk about the shadow on the table, which is cast by the ball, we call that the cast shadow. C-A-S-T, cast shadow. So those are the major parts. There's the light side and there's the shadow side. There's the form, there's the form shadow, then there's the cast shadow. There's much more detail than this, but this is actually the most important part. When you're doing, I'm going to clean up my drawing here so you can just get rid of. I'm getting rid of the other side of the oval that I drew, and just cleaning things up so that it's nice and clear. But when you go to draw anything, a complicated oil painting or a animation, anime character, or anything, you have to separate light from shadow in this basic, simple way first. We're going to get more complicated in following videos, but for now, this is what I want you to take from this, which is light source. You have to know the direction of the light source, and the light source we're going to call direct light. Direct light leaves in this case, the sun hits the ball, and it hits the table, and it hits the wall, but it doesn't end there. So the shadow shape is always perpendicular to the light source. So let's say that we're looking at the moon in outer space. So we have a round, the round moon, and it's surrounded by the darkness of space. The shape of the shadow is the same as it is on a ball, sort of a half moon shape somewhere on the ball. But out in outer space, the moon, depending on the position it's in, it's not next to anything. And so that means that the light leaves the sun and hits the light side of the moon, and it doesn't hit the shadow side at all. So the shadow side of the moon is as dark as the environment. But on Earth, the light hits the ball, it hits the table, and it bounces back into the shadow. So that means that the shadow area is not black like it is on the moon. It's not the color of space. It has a little bit of light in it. So that means we call that indirect light. See, in outer space, the shadow side of the moon is a lot of the time is not visible. Sometimes it is because it's getting reflected light from the sun. I'm sorry, from the Earth, but often it's not. But on Earth, an object is almost always near something else, which causes light to hit that something else and bounce back into the ball. So that means that the shadow side is visible, although darker. This will all become more relevant in the next video, but I just wanted to name it so that the sunlight that's hitting the light side of the ball is called direct light. It's hitting the ball directly with sun rays. But as the sunshine rays hits the table, hits the wall, and bounces around, once it hits something and goes back into the ball, it's called indirect light. So every time it bounces off something else first, the direct light transforms into indirect light. So what I'd like you to do is fill up a page with tons of circles with a single oval in each one. Change the size of the circles. And the last one, the circles you drew were relatively the same size. Draw them all different sizes, and draw different ovals inside each one. So one is close to the edge, one is closer to the middle. All different kinds of ovals inside, and then choose one side and darken it evenly. So you have this binary thing of light and shadow, direct light and indirect light. Fill up the page, do 50 or more of these, but at least 50, just like this. Then on another page, after you're done with that, drawing them evenly and trying to get the shadows not to be full of scribbles, but be as even as you can get it. Erase, after you're done drawing them, erase the extra lines so that it looks clean. Then what I'd like you to do on a fresh page is to draw more of these, except on tables. So you're going to draw a circle. Then you're going to choose a light source from anywhere, this time from below, let's say. And you can draw a little arrow to help you. And the shadow, the edges of the oval, like those 2 points there, the edges of the oval are going to be perpendicular to the light source. Does that make sense? If not, just send me email, or you can schedule a call. It's no problem. There's a table, there's the wall. So draw a circle that represents the ball, This time I'm choosing from up above. There's the wall, there's the table, and I'm going to make the shadow shape down low this time. So there's light hitting the top of the ball, and it's perpendicular, and there's the shadow shape. So do 10 of those, okay? Then after you do that, you can feel free to send me a picture, or send me a picture anywhere in the process. Anytime you have a question, I'll help you if I can, and I'll make the second part of the video depending on how it goes with the first part. Um, so we don't waste any time. You can even do that before our next meeting, so we can finish the whole lesson before our next class. Good luck.